I think we're live. I think we're ready to go. Everything is recording. We have excellent connection with our internet, although that's going to be a bit questionable. Today we have something special. My friend Liam yesterday brought me this Fellow Ode brew grinder. This premium looking matte black aluminium case, or I don't know, some premium metal case with a nice matte black finish. It looks beautiful. This grinder looks amazing. Now today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a V60 using this grinder, and I'm gonna let you know what my thoughts are about this grinder. So it's gonna be interesting, I think. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna brew a delicious coffee as well. It's gonna be a Brazilian coffee, wash processed, and this coffee was first place at the Cup of Excellence competition in Brazil. It's roasted by Proud Mary here in Melbourne, and it was sent to us by our friend, great friend, Jason. I'm gonna put the kettle on to warm up, and oh, this is so annoying. Just give me a second, guys, I'm struggling here. Alrighty, we're back. We're good to go. There it is. It would be great if someone who's watching could let me know if you can see me properly and hear me properly as well. That would be amazing. If anyone's watching, I can't really see because the laptop is far away. I'm alone here today, so Valeria is not here, Madeline neither. It's just me, and I can't see the comments on the laptop because it's a bit far away. I'll try and use my phone, but we'll see how that goes for the comments. And yeah, just gonna enjoy a nice coffee. It's a bit of a mess in the kitchen. We had a busy day yesterday. Me and Madeline filmed a video, and then after that, later in the afternoon, we had a Instagram live stream with Adrian from Shades of Coffee, and that went great. So if you haven't seen that yet, you can go on our Instagram account at TMBean channel. Sorry, I gotta grab the papers. Anyway, go on our Instagram account at TMBean channel and check out that live stream. We went on for probably, I think, 75 minutes, and we could have probably even go further, longer, probably the whole day as well, but you know, Adrian is a busy man. He has a family, so I think 75 minutes was enough. It was great to talk to him. It's interesting, and it's just interesting the way he built his company called Shades of Coffee during the pandemic, and he was actually able to quit his day job and focus only on his passion, which is making modifications for the Gaja Classic. So that's amazing. That's definitely a goal here as well, to be able to do this as a full-time job and follow our passion for making great coffee at home. Let's go back to the grinder. Now, this thing is pretty sturdy, to be honest. Compared to the Encore that I have, this feels like a premium product. And it probably is a premium product because it costs, I think, 550 Australian dollars. Where do I start? So we have this lid on it that has Fellow's recommended grind settings for different brewing methods. So they start from 1 all the way to 11, and then you go from cupping, AeroPress, pour over, electric coffee maker. That, I don't know, that must be automatic drip coffee maker probably, I don't know. French press and cold brew on the coarsest setting. And that's very helpful, although I don't think it helps at all. But we'll get into that later. Then here we have this little hopper. You could probably fit maybe 100 grams of beans, something like that. So if you're making a big batch brew in a commercial setting, that might help. And the fact that this is a sturdy grinder also means that it might be able to be used in a commercial setting, you know, which is a good thing. If you have a little cafe and you're making a couple of batch brews a day, instead of getting an EK that'll cost you, you know, the Malconic EK43, that'll cost you, I don't know, $3,000. Instead, you get this one for a lot less. Next thing is the design. It's very sleek. It reminds me of a Star Wars inspired product. It looks interesting. You know, I like it. I definitely like the way it looks more than the Encore and maybe even the Sete. I like the 7 shape of the Sete, but you know, this one is nice. Then we have this on and off button. So you press it. Oh, sorry. Press it. Starts spinning, starts grinding. It starts at a higher RPM and then it seems to just go down and follow this flat line of RPMs after the initial burst. So that's cool. This over here is the dial for adjusting the grind settings. As I said before, it goes from 1 all the way up to 11. And the cool thing about this grinder also is that it turns off after a while. So if you forget it, it will turn off on its own. Next thing that we have is this cup over here. Now this is probably my favorite part about this grinder because this cup, let me just move this. This cup here is magnetized, right? So it has a magnet here. So when you put it like this, it just catches on it and pops into place. So you can't really displace it, like put it halfway and so on. It requires just a little push and it falls into place. And that's my favorite part because it's very thoughtful. I like that. Next thing we have the cup itself. It has this lid that doesn't really completely close it. So it has the hole in there for when you put this the cup underneath the grinder, it grinds through the hole. But then when you want to take the ground coffee out and dose it in your V60 or whatever else you're using to make a pour over, you have these slots over here that channel the ground coffee through these openings. So you're not making a mess and you're not risking having all of the ground coffee to come out from the sides, for example, and just make a mess everywhere. So that's a cool thing as well. I have a bit of ground coffee here stuck, so I'll just get rid of it. And yeah, that's about it. Next thing we're going to do today is talk about the controversial part, which is the grind settings. As I said before at the beginning, Fellow have this recommended grind size chart for different brewing methods. And I found that completely useless. Just like probably anyone else using this grinder, including James Hoffman, because he did a review and he also said that this chart is a bit useless unless you're using darker roasted beans. For example, most of the time, probably 99% of the time, I am using a 20-gram dose when I'm making a V60 pour over. And yesterday, when I started using the grinder for the first time, when I ground some beans for the first time, I took a 20-gram dose, put it in, and ground this coffee on its finest setting, which is 1. You can't go finer than that. The resulting ground coffee was, the particles were all similar sizes. I couldn't notice a lot of boulders, and I also couldn't notice a lot of fines, which is great. That's a great result because it means it grinds well. But when I brewed my coffee, the brewing time was 2 minutes only. If you are on the finest setting and your brewing time is only 2 minutes, it means you can't slow your brewing time because you can't grind fine enough, or at least finer than you need to. So that's a bit of an issue because I'm using a 20-gram dose, but my friends, for example, they sometimes use 15-gram doses. So that definitely means that they can't use this grinder. So it's a bit conflicting for me because I really love the way it looks. It looks so cool. It just looks premium. It looks like I want it, but then if I bought it, I can't use it. And I'm gonna show you now because the water is boiling and we're gonna make a little pour over and I'll have it set up on its finest setting, which is 1 already. And I'm gonna risk some of my premium coffee that I have here. And I'm gonna risk some of my premium coffee, as I said, this #1 winner of the Cup of Excellence competition in Brazil. And I'm gonna brew it with you just so you see how fast it goes. I also have it vacuumed in these little bags for optimal freshness. There we go. 20 grams on the dot. Ooh, this little lonely bean. Okay. I'm just gonna get rid of this and put my last dose in the freezer. This goes in the bin. Unfortunately, with freezing coffee, you can't really reuse the bag, so that's a bit annoying. Just making waste for nothing. But yeah, that's it. Okay. Also, it's worth mentioning that with this grinder, if you're not spraying water on your beans, you will have a lot of retention and a lot of static electricity buildup as well. And that would mean that you would need to dose more in order to get 20 grams of coffee out, and also you'll be making a mess. So if you do plan on buying this grinder, I definitely recommend spraying some water on your beans before grinding them. A nice shake, and you just pour it in. This looks so good. I'm actually going to leave the lid open and just start it. It's a very fast grinder because it has flat burrs. I don't remember the dimensions. It was 58 or 56, something like that. But it's so good. Just gonna turn it on and then check this out. It has this little knocker over here that helps you get any coffee that's stuck on the sides. You just click it and it knocks all the coffee down in the little catch bin. And I love that. That reminds me of the EK that has that big thing on the side that you constantly knock in order to get all the coffee out of the grinder. So this is a cool thing. And there we have it. Now I wish I could come there and give you a close-up, but this ground coffee looks excellent. It actually looks like it's a much better ground coffee quality than when I grind with the Encore, because the particle here look more uniform basically. Yeah, that's the way to say it. So they are, most of them are the same size, which is great when you're grinding coffee, and is definitely something that you want from your grinder. The more premium the grinder, the more uniform the particles would be. At least that's the theory. So the more you pay for your grinder, the better it will grind. Which is not always the case, but it's the case most of the time. And this coffee smells very nice. Now I'm gonna wet my filter. And you know, do the usual thing, 20 grams in, 320 grams out. For this coffee, I like how it tastes when my brewing time is around 2.5, 2:45 to 3 minutes. Anything past 3 minutes, it kind of has a weird aftertaste, which is not over extraction. I think it just clogs if it's after 3 minutes, because the ground coffee is too fine. So when I was dialing it in, basically, I only had 100 grams of this coffee, first of all. And I ground too fine and basically wasted some coffee. I still drank it, but it wasn't great. So here we have it, 20 grams. And look how cool these little slots are. Just pop right into place without creating a mess. There we have it. This is so cool, I love it. And all you need to do, boom, pop it back in. I'm just gonna shake it up a bit. Make a little dent, or whatever it's called, a little hole in the middle for the blooming phase. And we're good to go. Let me see. That's all good. So now we're going to see actually the finest setting on the Ode, and we're going to see what's going to be our brewing time. As I said, I'd love it to be around 2.5 to 3 minutes, but I don't have a great feeling. I think it's going to be much faster. Let me see. And you can already hear, because it's literally gushing out from the paper filter. You just need to grind finer, and I don't know, like, I'm not sure why such a premium product made by an excellent company, they just wouldn't think about the fact that people around the world are using light roasted coffee as well. And they should have just thought about it and accommodate for everyone, for both people in the US that would be using darker roasted coffee, but also accommodate for those people who were excited for this project on Kickstarter and who are around the world drinking lighter roasted coffee. So it's I don't know, it's very weird. It's conflicting because I love the way it looks. I love all the little details, the functionality, the premium feeling of the grinder. And then when it comes to the main part that it needs to do, which is grind beans, it just fails. And it's annoying. We're at 2 minutes at the moment. And we're almost done. Almost. So it's gonna be, let's see, it might be 2.5 minutes, so it might be good. 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Which means that this coffee, this particular batch of coffee, is going to be probably good, probably excellent, because it's right around the time that I want it. But let's say you were using 15 grams of coffee. I'm already at the finest setting. What would I do? This grinder, as I said, costs 550 Australian dollars. And the thing about it is, there is a solution to make this grinder grind finer than what it is. Just give me 1 second, guys. I need to touch up on something on the camera. There we go. We are back in business. So I'm recording this live stream on my second camera so I can upload it later on our YouTube channel, and it's going to be in HD quality. But my camera shuts down after 30 minutes of recording, so I just had to go there and restart it again. So it's all good. As I said before I started, there is an option to upgrade the burrs on this grinder with SSP burrs that will cost around $200 and something. And what those burrs will enable you to do is grind finer than you are able to do with these burrs. That would mean that you're taking this grinder that costs $550, you're adding another $250 for the burrs, and then it costs you $800. And I'm not sure if I would do that, because for $550, there is a lot of choice out there for great grinders that'll do both espresso and filter, such as the Sete. And you're going to spend less and get a grinder that grinds for both worlds, whereas this one is only going to grind for filter, and it can't even grind fine enough. So it's a bit annoying. So you take a $550 grinder, and you need, in order for it to do its job, you need to spend half of its value into upgrades just to get it right. And it's so annoying, as I probably said 150 times. Anyway, I need a cup. Need some water as well. You gotta stay hydrated. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day or evening, wherever you're watching. If you're watching, if not, you probably see this later. I actually need to check if there are any comments. Just a second. Thank you, Jason, for sending this coffee to us. It's amazing. Now I'm to my last dose, so it's gone. Oh, Jason is here. Hello, Jason. And we have Jake here as well. And then we have Ross here from Alaska. So, hello everyone. The laptop is far away from me and I couldn't see the comments. So I apologize. You probably thought I was rude because I didn't see the comments, but look, it's too far. I can't see. It's probably 2-3 meters away. Ooh. One thing I noticed about making coffee with this grinder is, since it grinds, the ground coffee is more uniform in size, so all the ground coffee particles are more uniform in size. It is on the finest setting, but the uniform particles enable you to have a more even extraction than I'm able to have with when I'm grinding with the Baratza Encore, for example. And although the brewing time is a bit faster than what it usually would be, the cup ends up tasting very sweet and very well balanced. And I think that's because of the uniform size of the ground coffee, which is nice. And it's a very nice mouthfeel. The only thing I'm not happy is because it can't grind fine enough. That's it. Tastes great. It was 2 minutes and 20 second brewing time. You can feel it a bit. It's a bit underwhelming, or you could also say that it's not strong enough. That's probably a better way to describe it. So ideally, I would like this coffee to go on for just a bit longer, maybe 2 minutes and 45 seconds, just to bump up that extraction time just a bit. And you also need to consider, maybe someone will notice that I'm doing one pour when I'm doing a pour over. So it's one pour. It's not dividing the pours into 3 or 4 pours, right? Which, if you were doing 3 or 4 pours, for example, the more pours you do, the longer the extraction time will be. So you also need to take that into consideration, because I'm already at the finest setting. But still, that doesn't justify the fact that I'm using the finest setting and I'm only able to get a 2 minute and 20 second brewing time. So yeah, that's about it. Let me see if there are any comments. Your voice is echoing, booming. Oh, yeah, Ross, at the moment I'm using this mic over here. I don't know if you can see, for the live stream. But later on, when I upload the video, I have my lapel mic on over here on the side, and I have a feeling that the audio is going to be much better than it is at the moment. We also have, Madeline has a directional microphone that we will be able to use in the next couple of weeks. Until then, we just have to do with what we have. And but thank you for the suggestion. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this microphone is not ideal, especially if you are far away from it. For example, if I was to be a bit closer, let me see. How about now? Is it better now? Hopefully it's better. Let me see. Yeah. Cool. So you see, it's this microphone is not ideal for live streaming if you are moving around and so on, because you know it's stationary and you really need to be close to it to talk. It's much better for podcasts or for Valeria when she's doing her ASMR videos and so on, because she's very close to it and she can whisper and talk and so on, and it's a great device for that, but not ideal for live streaming. Anyway, I'm using the #1 winner coffee from Brazil. It entered the Cup of Excellence competition there, and it won it. And it's great. Roasted by Proud Mary. Let me see who asked. Yeah, Ross. Yeah, great coffee. Only 100 grams though. So that would be 5 batches of coffee for me. Great coffee. Really smooth. You can definitely notice that it's a Brazilian coffee because it has a kind of an, I'm not gonna say it tastes earthy, it has this slight chocolatey, milk chocolate coating on your tongue, a bit of earthiness, a pleasant earthiness, and not a lot of acidity, which is the case most of the time with Brazilian coffees, but overall a very round, very smooth coffee. And I would love it if it was just, if it went for just a bit longer. But as I said 100 times, I can't grind finer than this. So let me know in the comments if you're watching, if you've actually seen and heard anything about the Ode grinder. If you've seen it anywhere, if you know anyone that's using it, let me know what their thoughts about it are. And yeah, it's so cool looking and then disappointing at the same time, which is it's like a conflicting emotion on both sides of the spectrum. It makes me so happy when I look at it, when I use it, when I use the dial, because it has a nice clicking sound, because it's a what is it called? It's a stepped grinding setting. So it has all of these steps. It makes a nice clicking sound, feels premium, looks great. So all of that, so I really want it. And then when I use it, it disappoints me. Cheers. I think I'll wrap it up here. I've been going on for, what is it, where can I see it? 38 minutes. Okay, that's cool. 38 minutes, I think it's enough. Thank you so much for joining me. So for whoever joined, so thank you Ross, Jason, Jake, and whoever else joined that didn't introduce themselves. I'll try and upload this video later on in HD. Hopefully the sound will be better, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Also, if you haven't checked it out, go on our Instagram channel. You can see the live stream we did yesterday with Adrian. As a matter of fact, I posted yesterday another little video on YouTube that I couldn't download the live stream from Instagram, but then I managed to do it, and also Adrian downloaded it as well. So now I'm gonna upload the live stream on our YouTube channel as well in the next couple of days, because first I'm gonna take the downloaded file and give it to Madeline so she can edit it and put it in what's it called, in horizontal mode. So because on Instagram you have the face, my face here, and then Adrian's face here. So instead we're gonna flip it so it's like this. So it looks more pleasant to watch on YouTube. So that'll take a couple of days because I'm gonna take the file tomorrow. Madeline's gonna edit it and hopefully upload it soon. And it's a win-win situation. So I think that's about it. I don't know what to say. It feels weird that I'm alone here because I feel like I'm talking to myself. And let me see what's going on. Jason, it was 1 to 16. Just, yeah, just as I always do. 1 to 16 and then take it from there. But I found that really 1 to 16 ratio for coffees works best. So yeah, that's about it. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'm just gonna wait for another 2 minutes before I sign out for the day. Let me see. Yes, you are right. Ross just said that Fellow Ode has a replacement burr. It does. I think it's the SSP burrs. They are manufactured in South Korea, and that particular company is very famous for making burrs, high quality burrs, for a lot of different brands of grinders. So they are probably the best burrs on the market that you could buy for any type of grinder, including your Mazas, your Mythos grinders, your EK, Malconic, and so on. And they do have one for this grinder as well. But as I said, just think about it for a second. Imagine buying a premium product and then you discover it doesn't work unless you spend half of its value on an upgrade so it can work properly. That is fucking annoying. I'll tell you that much. That's literally the part that really, how do you call it, just upsets me for some reason. Because you make this beautiful thing, this good looking thing, like when you look at it, it looks perfect. It feels perfect as well. And then it just under delivers. Very annoying. Anyway, I'm done ranting for the day. This is not personal as well. I love Fellow products, and it's just the way I am, because I talk a lot of shit. But for example, the kettle, I love this kettle. This is probably the best kettle I've ever used. So it's not that I don't like Fellow products. You could have done better, you know. And you also could have just been thoughtful enough to make this grinder usable for people who are not only in the US and are using darker roasted beans, because the world of coffee is huge, and there are many people using different kinds of roasts, enjoying different types of coffee. So it would have been nice if they came out in a transparent way where they said, look, this is what the grinder does. It can't grind fine enough. We'll release an upgrade soon. You can have the upgrade for free because it's our fault that it doesn't grind fine enough, and so on. Instead, I think they're offering the replacement burrs for a much cheaper price than it is, but you still need to pay for it. And that's annoying. Also, I just want to, although I talked a lot of shit, I want to thank Liam, my friend Liam from the Basic Barista. You can check him out on Instagram at Basic Barista AUS, as far as I know. Yeah, he gave me this grinder for a day just to try it out. And thank you, Liam. You're the man. Thank you so much. That's about it. I think it's time to go. Time to go. Let me see. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy some coffee. Thank you for watching. I'm almost done with this coffee as well. Let's wrap it up. Bye, 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 bye.